My dad was a plumber. He could fix anything. His specialty? Stopping leaks. My dad taught me things. Like, always use the right tool for the job. And don't cut corners. And pay attention to the details because that's how you'll be judged. And when you're in someone's home or office, make yourself invisible to them. You're not the star of the show. And when you're finished, clean up after yourself. Leave no trace. Like you were never there. My dad also liked to remind me to follow my passions in life. Make sure, no matter what, that you absolutely love what you do. Life is short and it can be brutal, but every day can be filled with the joy of discovery, learning things that you never knew before. Be attentive, observe, listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Do the math. Listen. And I did. I learned to listen. I tried to get inside the music, to feel it, like dynamite. I delivered newspapers, which gave me a steady income. It was good money for a kid in 1979. I found myself spending my after-school hours in the local record store with my friends, immersed in the bins, exploring the rich audio universe that was coming into focus in my 8th grade mind. I savored those sounds and took home as many records as my meager earnings would liberate. I didn't collect the records as much as I absorbed them. When you're 13, music is your oxygen, and I was breathing hard. I spent the rest of the time hanging out with my musical friends. The ringing of the doorbell signified the opening of the floodgates as my friends would pour in, and we'd dream about starting a band and playing the small, gritty clubs of LA, New York, and London. We imagined ourselves sounding better each day, hoping to eventually get a record contract with a major label. And we weren't just thinking about the music. We were perfecting our style, too. And our stage presence. And attitude. We debated how to describe our sound. Was it funk? Punk? Rock? Jazz? We never figured it out, deciding to leave it to the music magazines instead. All of this was prologue to what would be our debut album called Fool's Gold. I named the band 1993, and to attract the record label interest that we needed to play our first gig in a major venue, the local Veterans Hall. Our drummer had a connection, and we jumped at the chance to unleash our artistry on an unsuspecting world. Our first song of the night, an instrumental funk fiddle tune, went over well with the crowd. But we lost them when we launched into our 14-minute song cycle based loosely on Margaret Mead's Coming of Age in Samoa. We'd hoped to pull them back with our next song, an a cappella tone poem set in a world ruled by apes. In retrospect, we should have gone with the Bee Gees tune we had practiced the previous week. Anyway, we lost them, along with our dreams of musical greatness. 1993 was over before it even began. But my dream wasn't over. I continued to listen to the music and sounds around me, exploring the sounds of decades past, with an ear toward the sounds of the future. And following in my dad's footsteps, I too became an audio technician, a recording engineer. My dad was a plumber, and he taught me everything. My dad was a plumber, and he left no trace. My dad was a plumber, and he could fix anything. Almost anything.
Free bird!